Hey guys, what's up? So we are back in the garage today. Today's going to be a little bit different project. Also, I got a new lapel mic off of Amazon. It was pretty cheap, but it had really good reviews, so hopefully this sounds okay. What we're doing today, though, is it's been so cold out here. It's been in the negatives. It doesn't look that bad right now. It's actually one of the warmest days, around 30 degrees. But what I wanted to do was make a shop heater. I've had a couple of oil, like radiant heaters. I tried a propane heater and it is just so cold. There's no insulation in my shop. So you can see the walls, it's just bare right out to the elements. So what I wanted to do was build a waste oil furnace. I've seen these on YouTube a bunch, like they've been popping up all over like Instagram and stuff. They've been around for a while. They're not anything new, but I wanted to try and make one myself because I have so much oil. I have a bunch of oil over there. I have a bunch of oil in the back over there. This thing supposedly burns any kind of old leftover transmission fluid, oil, any kind of crap you have laying around, and it does it cleanly, just based on the heat that this thing puts out. So the idea here is to take these old brake rotors. I'm going to weld up this one so all those holes are closed, and then that sits in the bottom of this tank I got here. So this is just an old air tank I got off of Facebook Marketplace for like 50 bucks. I'm going to cut all this stuff off and put a little door here. I'm going to put the brake rotor on the bottom. So, and then there's going to be that copper pipe there coming from the top, going into the bottom of that, the brake rotor that's all sealed up, and then the other brake rotor is going to sit on top of that. And then I'm going to force air into the bottom of the rotor and it's going to blow out all the fuel. And as it's burning, it's just going to push it all out and make heat. So it sounds a little complicated. It's really pretty simple design. I already have all the stuff I got. I literally picked everything up that I needed from Ace Hardware. And then, like I said, I got this on Facebook. And then the two brake rotors I had at work, customer cars that just needed to be replaced. So I got this old one that's all scratched up, and then this one's got a bunch of heat into it already. So, but yeah, that's going to be the plan. I will try to explain what I'm doing along the way. But for now, the first thing I'm going to do is try to cut a door in here. And then I'm going to try to do some sort of hinge stuff. And then I need to cut the hole in the top for the ventilation. And then another hole for the air. And then there's some little bungs on the side here that I'm going to use. I'm just going to pull these little caps off and use the hole to get the oil into the bottom of that rotor. So that's the plan. We'll see how it works out. I have no idea what's going to happen. Never made one of these before, but I think it's going to be fun. And hopefully it gets the shop warm enough so I can work out here in the wintertime. Because right now I have been waiting for warm days. And as you know, across the whole country, it's been in the negatives, like crazy cold. So I really would like to get some more work done on the BMW, but I haven't been able to because it's so cold and it's just really uncomfortable to be out here. So that's the plan. We're going to get started, and yeah, I'll probably time lapse some of this stuff, and then we'll see what happens. All right, so I wanted to show you guys this welder I just picked up, and this is what I'm going to be using to weld some stuff on the BMW, and also doing my oil heater here. So this thing is, I got it for like 200 bucks on Amazon. I did not feel like spending $500-600 bucks on like an entry-level welder. It's 110 or 220, and it's 1,000 times better than my Harbor Freight one that I had. This thing is awesome. It took a long time to set up though. It's so stupid. It's kind of janky when it comes out of the box. I had to adjust this little feed, this little plastic feeder. It's where the wire goes through. It was offset, so it kept knocking the wire off of the roll and it wasn't feeding it correctly. And then this thing right here, this is the dumbest design ever. So it's literally just a washer with a spring and another washer. But once the spool starts spinning, it just literally screws this nut out and the whole thing falls off. And then you get all this, your wire binds up and you get a bunch of problems. So I just put some hot glue on the end of that screw to keep it from coming off. And then Let's see, the gun's not terrible. It does have gas also, which is pretty cool. I don't need it with my MIG because I'm doing gasless flux core. So I am by no means a professional welder. I have done it for a couple years here and there, just on little small projects and stuff. And as you can see here, I was kind of testing out the voltages and the wire speed and all that stuff. This one came out pretty good. That was the last one I did. And the only thing on this is it's super confusing. This is actually the wire speed, not the amps for some reason. So you can see right there, it says MIG wire speed. Stupid. It took me a while to figure that out because I thought I was like, okay, well, I'm going to put 130 amps because that's what it's supposed to be at for the 110. But no, that's the wire speed. And then the other side over here is the voltage. So I have this turned up as high as it can go. I thought that was wire speed. So I had these two backwards. Like I said, I thought that was the amperage and that was the speed. It might be kind of hard to see just because of the frequency of the LED. But yeah, anyway, I have it at 120 for the speed, which is the highest, well, almost the highest. It goes to 130. And then the voltage, I have it set at the highest. So that way it's getting good penetration on this metal. Like I said, this weld came out really well just for a flux core gasless weld. Is there a little bit of splatter and stuff, but it's going to be perfect for what I need it for. And then on here, I have it set to flux, no gas. So yeah, so anyway, that's the welder I picked up. I'm going to put it up on the stand. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see any of this, but I'm going to finish welding up these holes. And then I was trying to find a scrap piece of metal and I couldn't find anything anywhere. But I do have this old saw blade, so I'm gonna weld that from the inside, just tack it in there and fill this hole in. That way this will be solid all the way through. There's no holes, so the oil doesn't drip out when we're dropping it into the rotor. So I'm gonna start welding or finish welding this up, and then we'll be back. All right, so there is that welded up, and then this part here is going to sit like this on top of that. And then the oil is going to drip down into here, probably one of these holes, or maybe I'll have it sitting up here, and it's just going to drip down to the bottom. Then the air is going to be coming from the top and blowing out this way, and then it's going to blow all of the heat out of the top and out of the sides of the rotor here. So that part is finished for now. I'm going to let that cool off. Next, I need to cut this tank open. I got to get these fittings off of here and then get a window put in. I think I'm going to just cut it right around this here and then make this into a handle or something. So I'm just going to cut a big hole like this all the way around. And then I'll have to figure out how to get some hinges on there. I don't think I have any, but I'll have to look around and see if I do. And yeah, that's it. So we'll kind of go from there. I'm gonna work on that next, getting that door cut out, and then seeing how well the rotors fit in the bottom of that. All right, so that worked out pretty well. As you can see, that's some pretty thick metal. Took a while to get through that, but it is now open. So I have to, like I said, get a hinge or something to put on here so I can get that door open and closed. This is going to be the setup for the rotors here. So hopefully this fits all right. Oh, it's freaking perfect. Okay, so that's going to sit like that, and then this guy is going to go right on top like this. And then the oil feed's going to come in somewhere from the side and then kind of drip into this part, and the oil's going to go on the bottom. They fit perfect, exactly how I wanted. So this is going to be awesome. This metal is really thick too, so that's going to be great for holding on to the heat, and we won't have any problems with it burning through. So that's going to be awesome. This will be our door, obviously, so we'll open it up, and that way we can check the oil feed and make sure everything looks good. And then we'll have some hinges on here so we can close it to keep the heat in. And then the side over here, there's this bung. It's a little dark, but this guy here, I'm gonna take that out. That's gonna be where our oil feed's gonna go in. And then right here on the top, this is gonna be our air inlet. I gotta figure out how to route that. I did find some pipe laying out in the yard that I'm gonna try to cut up and use as our air inlet. So this is going to push the air into the middle of the rotor, so going straight down. So it's going to come up and then probably 90 out that way. And then I have, well, they're in my other garage, but I have some fans that I bought. They're ducting fans and they actually fit perfectly into this, but this is actually going to be our exhaust. But it's the exact same size as that. I'm going to connect it to one end of this pipe, and then it's going to blow in the side, down straight to the middle, and then it's going to blow out the air and mix with the fuel, making it a little bit hotter. So, and then again, the oil is going to come up like this, and then in through that hole, down into the middle. And then the top here, the only other thing we have to do is cut a hole in the top, because I need to be able to fit our exhaust piping in here. So I picked all this up at Ace Hardware. Again, it's pretty simple stuff. This is going to be go on the top of the tank, and then we have a reducer that I'm going to put on here. So this is going to go here. Sorry for the camera angle here. So that's going to go like that, and our piping is going to go on top of that, and then I have this angle to shoot out of the garage. So I think the area I'm going to put it in is right here. As you can see, the rest of the garage is just covered in stuff. There's not really a good spot to stick it, except in this corner. So I'm going to have to heat shield the back of this wall, move some of this stuff over. And then luckily that thing has feet, which is awesome. And I have all these other bricks here that I might put in the back to keep the heat off of that wall, and then kind of radiate it back into the shop. So that's the plan. I wanted to put it over here because I don't want to put a permanent hole in the wall of my shop. I'd rather have it in like the garage door. So when it's cold, I'll just have this connected like that, just kind of sticking out of the garage. And when it's not cold, obviously the door will be open. So that is the plan. Like I said, next I got to drill a hole in the top of that. So I'm going to work on that. I do have a big hole saw inside. Let's see if that'll work. I'm not sure if it's made from metal, but we're gonna try and see if I can get that to cut through this. So I'm gonna go grab that, and I will be right back. All right, there's the top off. I'm gonna clean up this hole a little bit. I have a die grinder that works really well, so I'm gonna clean that up a little so I can get this vent stack in here. Should be about the right size. Let's see. Oh, actually that's probably perfect. I don't think I'm going to do much to that. I might weld up around the top just to make it a little more, wow, that turned out really good. Here, let me show you. So that was just with a bunch of angle cuts all the way around. That's not too bad. I think that fits pretty well. So like I said, I'm probably gonna get the welder and clean up a little bit of the joints around the top, just so there's no like super hot air or any gases leaking out of these holes here. So I'm gonna do that. I need to plug this side up. This was an old air tank, so the guy used it as like a mobile compressor. He'd fill it up with air and then move it out to his backyard and use it there. But obviously it's got a different use now, so we're going to cut off that little piece on the back there and weld that hole up. And then let's see what else we need to do. Gotta get these both those bungs pulled off. This hole needs to be a little bit bigger too to fit our air pipe. Actually about where the weld is, it needs to be about that big to be able to fit this diameter pipe. I think this is 2 inch probably. So obviously not going to stick out this long, but it's going to go in and then kind of do a 90 down. It's going to be forced air coming from the outside in, so it doesn't really matter if it goes a straight 90. This isn't the exhaust. This is going to be what's providing the air to the fuel down there. So like I said, got to cut this hole out still. I'm going to weld a little bit around here to clean this up and make sure this vent stack fits nicely. And then we're going to pull this off and try to figure out the oil feed line. We might actually leave that because the oil line, I think, is I want to say a 1/2 inch, maybe 3/8. I think it's a 3/8. So I might just drill a hole and then have the feed line go through instead of messing with all that. So I'm going to clean up the top first, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Let me get my brush, clean this up a little bit. Wow, I am very happy with this welder. I was thinking I was going to have to figure out how to put some 220 out here, but that 110, I'm telling you, is way more powerful than the other welder I had. So that should be able to handle any kind of projects we're doing out here for now. Okay, so that looks great. Let's see if I can get this on here now. Make it look a little tighter. All right, yes, that's way better. So very cool. This has tabs that you kind of fold in, and it holds this in place. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Like I said, I got all this stuff from Harbor Freight. I mean, it wasn't super cheap. I paid $123, like I think exactly, for all this stuff. But I think it's going to be well worth it based on the heat and everything we get out of here. And it's pretty much free. I change my oil all the time. I change my friend's oil, and I have like 275 gallons of oil at work I can bring home whenever. So literally free heat for the shop. Can't beat that. All right, so vent stack is on, and I'll show you again what we got going on here. So brake rotors in there, got the vent stack, need to do the air, and then drill a hole for the oil. So maybe I'll do the oil line next and see what that looks like. So the oil feed I have, like I said, it's just flexible copper pipe. It's 3/8 inch piping. So I do have a 3/8 inch drill bit, but I want to tap it with a 5/16, and then we'll follow it with 3/8. So hopefully this mic sounds better. That way you can hear me when I'm not carrying my phone around, and you can still see what I'm doing. So let's see where I want to have this at. I kind of want to have it at an angle coming down into here. So let's see. We'll see what happens. And this is the piping here. You just pay by the foot. I think it's like $3 per foot at Ace. And it's flexible, as you can see. So we can bend it how we want it. I made it a lot longer than I probably needed because I wanted to have our oil bucket up higher. And it's going to feed from the oil bucket down into here. We also have a valve and some other things so we can adjust the feed and make sure that it's the right speed. So that's kind of the angle I'm looking for. Might make it a little sharper just so it goes down a little further. I don't want it to be in the middle so much because that's where a lot of the heat's going to be coming up, and I don't want it to melt this copper pipe. So I'm going to make it a little bit steeper, and that should fit perfect. So that's one more part done there. Okay, so that should be good anyway. Let's get the pipe and see what that looks like now. Okay, that's pretty good. And then we can also bend it down like that. So it's kind of how I want it. And right now I think I might do something like that. I don't know, we'll have to see. I have a lot of extra pipe, so I'm not going to cut all of it. I think I'm going to have the oil go through all of this so I can, if something happens or I need more pipe, we don't have to go buy more. So that should be okay there for now. And then let's see, next we got to get this big hole opened, and I got to weld that pipe at a 90. So let me cut that pipe, and then I'm going to do a 90-degree up and over. Let's see what the easiest way that would be. I don't want to have to weld it in the side here. That's going to suck. So, all right, let's just get that the hole cut in the side first, and then we'll kind of go from there. So that way I can kind of figure out what things are going to look like here. So, all right. Okay, there's our air vent. We're gonna weld that up a little bit as well, so that's a little bit more airtight. So that hole's a little bigger than I wanted, actually. Let's see. Oh, we'll figure it out. Wonder if there's enough room for me to get in there and weld a 90. Well, let's see. I'll spend some time welding that up because I gotta weld this pipe to this anyway. So let's clean that circle up, get it a little smaller. So far, this is turning out pretty good, though. I'm pretty happy with how all this is working out. All right, well, I'm kind of dumb. I should have did this the first time. I think what I'm gonna do is actually weld this back on there, because I can just take this bung out and then weld the pipe directly to the outside of this, and then weld the pipe to the inside of that one. Don't know why I didn't think of that. But I am not going off any plans. I am making this up as I go. So that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna stick that back on there. It'll give me some practice on my welding, and then I'll crack that bung off and then cut a piece of that, and then weld that directly to the outside. That way we have pipe that we can fit our air hose to. So let's get to welding. Okay. Man, I can't say this enough. This welder is freaking awesome. I mean, I guess I don't know if it's that great, but compared to what I've been using, holy crap, dude, totally night and day. Super happy that I made this purchase. The only thing I wish this thing had was AC, so I could weld aluminum, because I do like to do aluminum stuff sometimes, but I've been using those brazing rods, and they work well, but it'd be really nice to be able to do an actual aluminum weld. The other thing I could do is get a spool gun. This does have spool gun capabilities, so I can weld aluminum through that if I wanted to. Maybe in the future at some point, or if I really like getting into welding, maybe I'll get an aluminum welder. So we'll see. I mean, this thing's got awesome penetration, and I have the amperage turned down, or the volts too. I don't even know what this 22.0 or whatever it is, but let me show you this weld real quick. Like I said, I'm not a professional welder by any means, but that doesn't look too bad. For a flux core welder, you guys that actually weld are probably laughing at me, but man, you should see some of the other crap I've done. It is garbage. So, yeah, anyway, that works out pretty well. So I'm gonna take that bung off now. cut a piece of this stainless pipe over here, and then weld it kind of sticking straight out of that. So. All right, we're gonna need some help on that. What do we have here? Oh, our big stainless bar pipe. Let's see. There we go. It's moving at least. Nope. Okay. Let's get this back on there. Jesus. Oh, okay. I doubt this came off since this was built. Okay. Ah, there we go. Good thing I have this gigantic pipe wrench. I lived in these condos a couple years ago, and I had this weird neighbor. His name was Jim Bob, and he gave me this thing. No idea why. One day he showed up at my door and was like, "Hey, you think you can use this?" And I was like, "Sure." And I actually do use it quite often for weird stuff like this. So, thanks, Jim Bob, wherever you are. Okay. All right, that looks good. Should have did this in the first place because that's way easier. Trying to cut and weld and cut and weld and cut and weld. So there's the hole. Definitely big enough for a pipe to go through. I think I'm going to cut off like a foot maybe of the big pipe and then just weld it straight to that. And then we got to do something on the inside. Somehow we're going to have to weld up an angle pipe that's going to go in and down because I want it to sit right in the middle of the brake rotors. So, and there is a peanut in here. I don't know where the hell that came from. Okay. Wow, this thing is almost done, and I'm pretty excited. Let's see. I wanted to start working on the turbo kit for the BMW today, but I think getting this done is going to give us more time to do that. Like I said, because it's so cold out here, we'll be able to actually work in the garage when it's negative 15 degrees outside and not get smoked out by our propane heater. That was the problem with that, is turning the propane heater on, I had to open the door to vent it, and to open the door to vent it, all the cold air comes in. So kind of defeats the purpose of having a shop heater. So, all right, I'm gonna get this cut, this other pipe cut. I am running out of space on my phone, so I need to go transfer some files. I might actually get something to eat as well, because I am starving and I've not ate yet. And then we'll be back. So I'm gonna cut this pipe, probably do that off camera. I might even weld it up real quick, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right, I got our copper pipe, I guess our fitting, soldered on here. Terrible job, but it's not for any sort of pressure welds or anything, so it doesn't matter. And what I'm going to do now is cut our copper pipe over here, and then I'm going to just weld that onto the top of that. Also, I think I'm going to stick this piece of rebar here so I can use that to anchor this off of somehow. We'll figure that out a little bit later, but for now I'm going to cut the pipe and get everything fitted up the right way here. So I'm going to leave a little bit of room so I can see how much oil is going into this. So it's only going to thread into about there, so just going to eyeball this. Originally, I was going to keep this copper pipe really long and use this whole thing as feed line, but I think the way that I had this set up here with this is going to be a lot better. That way, if I need to move this thing, it's not so rigid. All I have to do is just disconnect the soft line, the feed line in the back, and this whole thing can move around with me. So it's not going to be a permanent structure, which is going to be nice. I don't have to worry about that. And then we are just going to fit this. Oh, crap. That should have fit on there. Right. Maybe not. Dang. Well, they didn't have the right fittings at Ace when I went, so I kind of tried to hodgepodge some things together in my mind. I thought this was going to fit. I wonder if I grind that down a little bit, because I really want that to sit on top of that and be pretty rigid here. So it doesn't move. I don't want it to kind of sit on the top of it. I want it to slide over this bit here. So yeah, it must just be a little bit smaller inside. Let me get a grinder. I'm just gonna grind that out in the middle a little bit, make it a little wider. All right, so I just ground out the inside of this a little bit, which I think is going to work a little bit better, because then this is sort of removable. So I put that on there like so. That's pretty airtight. I don't think the oil is going to pass through there at all. So that way I'll be able to take it off if I need to. And let's get this actually in line there. So that's pretty much exactly what I want, something like that. That way there's a little gap and you can see the oil dripping through there. So you can tell pretty much how much oil is going to be flowing through that. So I think the oil feed system's done. I just need to straighten out the rotor there, put on the vent, connect the air, but I think I might want to start it up, see what happens. I'll have to figure out something to put out here to hold a bucket of oil, but that's the only other thing we have to do really is plumb the oil bucket and then get our air hooked up. So again, this is a fan we're going to be using here. It's a little crappy fan I got off Amazon, I think, but it plugs directly into the wall. And you just leave it running until you're done. But it's going to go onto here, and then that just blows air directly into the middle, which helps feed the fire. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I want to do this too. I'm going to put this little guy here so I can eventually put some sort of bracket or brace on there. So I'm going to go ahead and weld that real quick, and then I think we're done with all the welding. That's pretty much it. We got to get our vent back on the top here so we can put it in the garage at some point. I don't know when I'm going to actually set everything up, because I'm still debating on where I want to put the vents. If I do want to poke a hole in my roof or the side of the shop, I don't really want to do that. I think the garage door would be the easiest, because I can also just put a little metal plate on that and cover it up if I need to, versus fixing the siding or putting a vent cap and all that stuff on the roof. Which at some point I probably should vent the roof anyway because it is not. And all right, there's that. I think this might, yeah, that'll do for now, I think. And then I can put the fan directly on here. Airflow is this way. And I'll just pick up another one of these for the top. Yeah, I think I'll do that for now. Let's put a band clamp on that. That'll be fine for the blower side of things. Oil. Oh yeah, let me weld this on real quick. Still got our welder on over here. Let's turn that off. Again, I am super excited about this welder. I will put a link in the description for this. If anybody's looking for like a hobby welder or something, I recommend not buying the Harbor Freight one because I don't even remember the brand, but I went to get it and it was like 600 bucks, something like that. This thing was $230 shipped to the house, and I can guarantee you that it's just as good, if not better, than the Harbor Freight one. So, very happy with that. All right, let's weld this up real quick, and then I think we'll be done with the welding. All right. You really can't beat that. I mean, that looks ugly. Let me clean that off real quick. Actually, I don't know where my brush went. I lost it a while ago. But anyway, the welds on this thing are pretty damn good. Okay, so that's going to do it for the welding today, I think. That's all done. I got my drip tube set up. Got the pipe. I got my gate valve to... oh, actually, I need to take this off the back and weld this closed too. I don't want any exhaust fumes coming off the side of that. So this is an old relief valve here from the air tank. I forgot that was on there. So let me pull that off, weld up the back hole there. And the only other thing we have to do at some point, which I should probably do pretty soon, is the door. I gotta find a hinge or something. I was looking around a bunch of old crap I have here in the house, but I could not find anything that would work. So for now, I'll run it with the door open. If the exhaust fumes get too bad, I'll definitely go up to the hardware store and grab a hinge for the door and make sure that that's all working. And this here, I think, probably just put a clamp on that, I think. It'll be a little ugly, but it'll work. I think this is going to work out just perfect. So let me go get a band clamp for that, for the air. I'll bring a chair out with a bucket of oil, and then we'll get the oil set up. And then I think that's it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna weld the back, like I said. So let me do that. I'll get everything set up, and then I'll see you back here in a sec. All right, so my microphone fell off at some point in the recording. I'm not even sure where, but I just kind of wanted to show you where I'm at now. So I got my oil bucket hooked up very crudely. It's not going to stay like that, obviously. I'm going to bring it in and attach it to the wall somewhere. And then I have our oil drip. I've got the line hooked up. I'm trying to find a clamp for the air inlet, so that'll stay on. And then we are pretty much ready to go. I just have to dump some oil into that bucket. But I need to go find a clamp, and I also have not welded the back of that shut yet, so I got to do that real quick. I need to run inside. I think I have some bigger clamps in the house. I could not find one in the shop, so I'm gonna go do that, and I'll be back. And if you see some video from before, no audio, it's because I dropped the microphone and I have no idea how long it was on the floor. It's starting to get freezing out here. Sun's gone. I'd say it's probably 30 to 20 to 30 degrees, something like that. I am freezing, so I want to get this done as soon as possible. So I'm gonna run inside. I'll be right back, and then we're gonna hopefully get this fired up and see if it works. All right, so I got everything set up. I got that back bung welded on. I put a band clamp on here, keep that in line. I got our fan hooked up, but now I remember why I didn't use this fan in the house. It is garbage. It's not blowing any air whatsoever. I don't know if that's going to be enough to keep our furnace going. So we'll try it out, but I think I'm going to have to probably pick something up at some point. Well, soon, because I want to get this thing working. But also we needed the door. I don't have any hinges. I was looking inside. I had a couple of doors and stuff, but the hinges somehow disappeared. So let's see, what do I want to do? So I'm going to turn on the oil feed, and then we should see the oil start feeding through our drip tube here, and then we're going to ignite the oil down below with our MAP gas, and hopefully it works. Like I said, I don't think we have enough air coming through right now for that to actually ignite, but let me go ahead and start heating up all this stuff down here. Otherwise it's not going to light. It's super cold, so I could probably reach the oil. So I'm going to turn this on and see what happens. Should have a little bit of oil start flowing through. It is super cold out, so I don't know if that's actually going to work. You know, I probably should have tested this to see if this worked anyway before putting this all together. All right, so far there's nothing coming out, so a little heat on here. Oh, there we go. So oil's flowing now. You can see the oil flowing very slowly through there. That's going to end up down here in our copper tube. So starting to flow a little bit. Getting a little bit of flame on the oil. I'm not confident this is going to work because we don't have enough air, and also I probably need a torch to light this. I'll keep whatever heat on here I can. I might also almost need like a pilot hole. Man, it's so cold out here. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll take off the top rotor first, see if I can get that oil at least burning. Let me turn this off here. Stop our oil flow. That should shut off here any second. Okay, that is off. There we go. All right, I'm going to take the top rotor off, I think, and I'll put it back on if I can get this stuff lit. But I don't think this fan and my torch is going to cut it. But we'll see. All right, so I think I'm going to call it quits for tonight because it is freezing cold. I need to do two things. I'm going to go to the store and grab a propane torch, the ones that just connects to like a 5-gallon propane tank, because I think that's what I'm going to need to at least get this thing started. And then I need to find something other than this. This is not going to cut it. That fan does not blow enough. It's super slow. But I think other than that, it's pretty much there. Everything that we need is in place. So I think, oh, also one other thing is I got to find something else that is secure this a little better. Maybe a smaller clamp. That one's closed as tight as it can go, and it's a little too big. So I have some smaller ones. Maybe I'll put two together and do that. But oil feed's good. I think I'm going to leave it like that. I was worried it might leak, but I don't think it will. This gate valve works perfectly, and our little sight glass thing, so we can see how much oil we have going in, is also working perfectly. So really all we need is a better ignition source down on the bottom, and then a better fan. But pretty much that is it. That's going to be the waste oil furnace. And I will definitely show some footage of this thing working once we get the torch and a new fan on there. So that's going to be awesome because, like I said, I have so much oil over there. I have probably, I don't know, 50 gallons at least just here at the house that I've had over the, 2 or 3 years that I've been here. So I'm going to take this apart. Well, not apart, but I'm going to take the oil down so it doesn't leak or get knocked over, and maybe scoot everything inside. But yeah, that's going to be it for right now. I'm not sure if I'll upload the video like this or if I will show you guys everything working. But I'm heading in. I'm freezing. So like I said, I need to tweak a couple things before I get this working. But I am actually pretty excited about how this turned out. Yeah, I probably wouldn't change anything on it, honestly. I mean, besides what I just mentioned. And also I need to get a hinge, some sort of gate system or something, and like a little latch to lock the door once we get everything going. But yeah, this whole setup here, like I said, was probably, I don't know, it's less than 200 bucks. So this will be way better than a $500 shop heater. And we don't have natural gas out here. We have propane, and the propane tank is in the back of my house, which is way, oh, you can see how dark it is, but way over there in the back. So there's no way I'm getting propane out here to the shop. So there's really no other options other than electric heaters or propane or whatnot. And like I said, the propane just isn't working. Smoking me out in here, burning my eyes. So this is going to work great. Thanks, guys. This is going to be a long video, or was a long video. I hope you stuck around for the whole thing. I'll put a link to the welder in the video, and also honestly, there's not really anything to link to. Everything I found is at Ace Hardware. So if you want to go kind of check it out or have any questions on how I built all this stuff, let me know. Yeah, so thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, what's up? So it is the next day after building our stove here. I have everything pretty much set up how I want it. This obviously isn't going to stay like that. This is temporary. I'm just using this to hold the bucket. But this fan situation is really bad. So I need to get something a little more powerful. I actually did order a like a barbecue blower fan. That's for like a smoker and stuff. It's supposed to push some decent air. I read some of the reviews, and some other people have used them for these types of furnaces. So I'm gonna try that and see if that works. If not, we'll do some tweaking. But as you can see, I got the hinge on for the door. This is our makeshift door handle here. I do have it going right now, but there's just not enough air to push through to burn everything at a higher temp. So this is about what I get for now with this little tiny blower. I tried to hook up this leaf blower, and it was way too much, and just kept blowing the flame out. It was just blowing a little too hard. So here's the oil flow right now. That seems to be burning off about that speed. And you know, as you can see, there's a little bit of fire in here, but it's not burning very cleanly, just based on the heat. It's not as hot as it should be. That brake rotor down below should be glowing red hot, and it's not even close. So that's the setup, and once we get the blower situation figured out, which should be here Friday, today's Sunday, so end of the week, we'll be able to get this the rest of this setup and hopefully heating up the shop. So it is getting a little hot. I mean, the tank is getting warm, so if I did go ahead and put it in here like this, I mean, that'll put out some radiant heat. It's about as hot, I suppose, as my furnace gets inside, so maybe I'll move it in and pipe up the exhaust and everything, and then just kind of let it run for a little bit and see if it actually gets some heat in the shop. But I do need to move all this stuff. As you can see, I have a mess just from working on this thing. I got parts everywhere and garbage all over the place. So maybe I'll work on that now, and then I'll permanently mount this up. Actually, I think I'm just going to hook it to here. There's a hook that's already up there, so I might do that, and then just lay some bricks up on the wall so this backside here doesn't get too hot. But yeah, I think this is actually going to do pretty well with the heat, just as is. The only thing is, like I said, it's not super clean burning. That you can see a little bit of fumes maybe on camera here, but yeah, anyway, that's the setup, and I think it's actually going to work pretty good. I'm kind of excited about that. We still have probably 3 months of winter left, and it's supposed to be getting cold here again, and we have snow towards the end of the week. So I definitely want to get this finished and at least put where it needs to go. That way we can have some heat in here, and then we can get working on this thing. The plan was to work on this a little bit today, but I really wanted to finish up the tank. Just a quick update of where we are. I do have the head off. I need to clean this all up, and man, I was trying to do some welding on this stupid welder with the stainless, and it is terrible, so don't laugh at me, guys. I just don't think it's putting out enough heat for stainless. It requires a lot more heat, so I think I might move that into the house. I'm gonna grind all that off and re-weld it. I do have 240 in the house, but just not out here in the shop for some reason. And then here's the car. The surface of the head, or the block, is pretty cleaned up. The turbo's still in here. It's pretty much where we left off last time. I want to take the turbo off. I got to chop that, and then I'm going to weld that V-band onto the bottom of it, and then we can kind of figure out where the turbo's going. The actual turbo will be here, I think tomorrow, if not sometime Tuesday or Wednesday. So it's a big one. I got a giant turbo, and it's gonna definitely make some serious power. So look forward to those videos, and yeah, so if you haven't subscribed, you probably should, because this thing's about to get crazy. We have all the parts to get our to get the car back together. As I said, the turbo will be here in a couple days, and that is the final piece. Then we just need to work with the tuner. Really excited about that. But yeah, that's about it. I think, like I said, if you're not subscribed, you should probably do that sometime soon, because it's only going to help the channel, and it's going to help us grow and get more content for you guys. So appreciate it. Thanks, and I will see you in the next one.